Starting with number 1, how many of you had choice? How many of you had A? How many had B? How many had C? D? All right, you know what? I need to show it. A little bit, most everybody got this one right until now I'm seeing the show of hands, and I think I need to go over it. It's PEMDAS. I'm going to do my exponent first. Remember, it's not 6 times 3. 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. Bring down whatever's left. Now, I need you to understand, the way that they set this up is these choices, the ones that are not correct, are designed to be choices that most kids will use or do incorrectly. So, if you do this first, you'll get one of these answers which is not the right answer. Because order of operation says we have to do 7 times 4 as our next step, which is 28. And then 216 plus 28 gets me choice B, which is what it should be. So don't fall into the trap. Know your order of operations. Number 2, how many have, check your sheet, how many have A? How many have B? How many have C? How many have D? All right, well, let's see. If you take your number outside the parentheses and multiply it by the term inside, you have 4 times 6x, which happens to be 24x, which eliminates this choice and automatically makes B the correct choice. I do want to show you why C and D won't work, though. C is 4x plus 6x. Well, if you look at the model, here's 4x's, and I'm going to add 6 more. If you add up all your x's, you wind up with a 10 total x's, or 10x. Not 10x squared, but 10x. Therefore, it can't be C. And using the same model, 4x plus 6x, it's 10x, it's not 24x. So it can't be D. Only choice is choice B. All right, number 3. Number 3 was tricky, and I'll show you the way I would have done it, although there are other ways. First, a survey. How many have A? How many have B? How many have C? How many have D? I'll show you the way that I did it, but again, yours may differ. You should know by now the area of a rectangle is area equals length times width.
I know that.
Okay.
Oh, I was thinking.
They're not giving you the length and the width and asking you to multiply. They're giving you the area. They're giving it to you in reverse. They're telling you that the area is a half mile, square mile. And they're telling you that the length is 2/3. So in essence, what you're doing is, well, 2/3 times what fraction will make 1/2? I would just substitute these in. Try each one. So I'll take my first one, my 1/3. Now I do want to show you something that a lot of you guys are forgetting. Look for opportunities to cross-divide wherever you can. It makes multiplication so much easier. Now in this particular one, 2 and 3 or 1 and 3 I can't do anything with. But as you see, when I get to the next one, it comes in real handy. Okay, once I have it set up, multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and you wind up with 2/9, which is not 1/2. So it can't be A. Cross it out. Now I'm going to take my 3/4 and sub that in. And I get 2/3 times 3/4. Can I cross reduce somewhere? Come on, can I cross reduce somewhere? Okay, well, what do you want to do first? Look at this pair, or look at this pair. Is there a number that goes into both 2 and 4? What number? 2 goes into 2 how many times? Cross it out and make it 1. 2 goes into 4 how many times? I'm going to cross it out and make it a 2. What about 3 and 3? Jay, is there a number that goes into both? What number?
No, 3.
Okay, 3 goes into 3 how many times? 3 goes into 3 how many times? Ready? Watch how nice this will work out. You're going to get your answer. 1 times 1 is?
1.
1 times 2 is? We have a match. So the answer is B. There's other ways to do it. That's the way I did it. Okay, this I thought was the hardest question, but I will tell you this. If I show you what the formula is for the area of a trapezoid, and the state will give it to you as well, you don't have to memorize all the formulas. If you know how to substitute, it then becomes everything that we've covered in Common Core so far. First, survey. How many have A? How many have B? How many have C? How many have D? Just like I thought, we're kind of all over the place. Okay. I want you to write this formula down because they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you. The exception of area equals length times width, which you should know. Trapezoid, parallelogram you might see, they'll give you the formula. Don't let it scare you off because you'll see once you substitute in it, it's not too bad. Area equals, write it down, base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times h. Don't let it scare you, just write it down first. It's really not as bad as you think, because all I really need to teach you is what's base 1, what's base 2, and what's the height. And then it's substitution, and then it's everything that we've covered before. Okay. The top and the bottom of a parallelogram or a trapezoid are called its bases, which in this case is 9 and 4.5. I'm going to substitute that into the formula. So we have A equals, it doesn't matter whether I call base 1 the bottom or the top because addition is commutative. So I'll do it from top to bottom. 9 plus 4.5 divided by 2 times, what's the height? It happens to be the up and down 6. We now know that this bar, guys, is division. I taught it to you a couple weeks ago. It's no longer, don't think of this as a fraction. Think of this as this plus this divided by this times this. Ready? This divided by this times this. What's 9 plus 4.5? You should be able to do that in your head. What do you get?
13.5.
Okay. And then it's 13.5 divided by 2, which I do need to show in long division. 2 goes into 13.5. Let's do it. Who wants to volunteer? Lily, 2 into 13. I'll talk you through it just because of time.
Okay.
2 into 13. What is 6 times 2?
12.
Okay. 13 take away 12. What do I got to do next? Yup. 2 into 15.
Okay, goes in. Wait. I'm drawing a blank. Just give me a sec.
You got it.
Okay, 7.
7 times 2.
7 times 2.
Mm-hmm. Am I done? You got to keep going until it terminates or repeats. What do I bring down?
0.
2 into 10, it will terminate.
Goes in 5 times.
Okay. 6.75 is the result of this right here. I have one more step. I need to then take my 6.75 and multiply it by how much?
6.
Everybody do that. Raise your hand when you have an answer. Everybody do that. 6.75. Don't forget, you need to swing your decimal twice in the answer. And multiply carefully because we've done this. All right, ready? I'm going to call on somebody. I know you're still working. Leah, what'd you get?
8.
Which is? 40.5. Now, let's think about this for a minute. With the exception of the fact that we haven't done this geometrical figure, if you take that fact out that that's new, we've done substitution, we've done adding decimals, we've done dividing decimals, and we've done multiplying decimals. So I'm hoping that you guys have enough mathematical foundation that you should be able to get through it, even if it looks a little familiar, unfamiliar, or it looks like something that, maybe we haven't done it. You can reason through it. Well, what'd you get?
I got 40.5.
I would have to take a look at it. There's more than one way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I did it different ways.
Number 5, you really need to get, because we've done so much with ratios. How many have A? How many have B? Correct, let's move on.
Yeah.
You could do value of ratio, or realize that you're dividing left column and right column by 2. Sorry, by 4. By 4. All right, number 6, I want to survey it, and then I need to teach you. I'm going to do a little mini lesson on inequalities because I technically haven't taught this. All right, number 6. Look at your 6. How many have A, B, C, D?
We all got the D. We all got it wrong.
No, you got it right. When I saw you this morning, I misread it. D is right.
No one else got A but B. Really? Nope.
Yes. You didn't get the D.
Okay, here's what I want you guys to do.
Okay, nobody else got
Okay, on the back, make a heading called inequalities. This should take no more than 10 minutes, but I do need to teach it to you because it would have been the very next lesson in Module 4. And it could be on tomorrow's exam. Okay. Everybody write this down. N greater than, but I'm going to put a little line underneath it because I want to see if you know that. And 2. Well, I'm going to cover that, so just write it down first. How would you say this in words? Dan?
N greater than 40.
Okay. Did you guys learn in elementary school that if there's a little line underneath the inequality, it not only in this case means greater than, but it can be greater than or equal to?
No.
All right, make a note of it on your sheet that this symbol means, or in parentheses, greater than or equal to. That's your first lesson.
It'd be either way, like less than or
Yep. If it was facing the other way, then it would be less than or equal to. So, the number, which is unknown, is greater than or equal to 2. Here's my next question. If I substitute 3 in for n, does the inequality become true?
Yes.
Is 3 greater than or equal to 2? Yes. What about 4?
Yes.
5? 6? 1?
No.
2?
Yes.
Okay? So 2 is equal to, so it would make the sentence true. To graph it, here's how you do it. Make a line. I know I need 2. Here's my 2. And I know that greater than 2 is all of my numbers to the right. So make little lines here, but I don't need to fill in the values. But I'm going to make an arrow to show that any number at 2 or greater than 2 would make the inequality true. Are we good so far? We're still not done. Lastly, I'm going to put what's called a closed circle at 2. And I need you to write this. A closed circle means, and I'm going to put in quotes, or equal to. So by making that a solid circle, that particular graph is saying all of the numbers that are greater than or equal to the number 2.
He's number 2.
If you had the arrow go without the closed circle, would it just be greater?
I'm going to show that to you now. Ready? Do this. X is less than 1. Is there a line underneath the less than?
No.
So can it be equal to 1?
No.
No. All right, let's see if numbers that would fit into the set. Give me an example of a number that we could sub in for x that would make the inequality true. -1 would work. -2. -8.
0.
0.
0.
One more, Jay.
-4.
We're going to graph it. Make your number line. Come on, guys. I know I've got to draw an arrow somewhere at 1. There's my 1. All the numbers that are less than 1 now go to the left. There's my arrow. But I'm still not done. Since it can't be equal to 1, I can't do a solid circle. What do I do instead? Caniclius.
Draw a circle and go through it.
Right, it's called an open circle. And it looks like that. And the reason why I bring it up is if you now look back at that question number, what was it, 6? 7? 6. They have an open circle. All right, in words, open circle means not equal to. And that's your mini lesson on inequalities. And yes, it could be on the test tomorrow. Okay, what are we up to? Number 7?
Average.
Number 7 is very similar to what you guys did in number 3. You're going to substitute the values in until you get a match. So we have 4 times, they're going to give me the value for W, equals 2/3. So I'm going to take 2/12 first and put it in. I have to do something with this 4. To multiply it as a fraction, what do I need to do? 10 over 1. Same thing, look for opportunities to cross-reduce. Do you see it anywhere? Anna, what do you say? Yeah, 4 and 12. What number goes into both? And there's a one even higher. Go with the higher one. 4 goes into both. 4 goes into 4. How many times, Anna? Cross it out, make it a 1. 4 goes into 12. Watch how nice this works. It does all the work for us. 1 times 2 is? 1 times 3 is? Hello? Hello? We don't have to go any further. The answer is A. How many you got it right? Okay. Number 8, very similar to what we did in Module 3 on the cube. We'll do a survey again. Survey said, How many have A? B, C,
Oh.
D. B it is. You're counting in increments of 0.2. Look. Negative 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and 2. So at E, it is negative 1.6. Number 9's been interesting. Nobody in period 2 got it right, and everybody got it right in period 3. So let's see how we fall. For number 9, how many have A? How many have B? C? D?
Matthew.
Hold on, I have to process it.
Interesting.
I got it, but I don't have the package. I can't figure it out. Just give me a minute.
I substituted them in. And
You could do that.
it's A. I got A. Like,
And then what'd you get, Pate? What'd you get as your choice?
I did like 2. I substituted 2 for X and 3 for Y.
You could do that, and that would be a good way to solve it. Let me show it to you with models. Tape diagrams. We've done it. You just forgot we've done it. We just did it recently. X plus Y plus X plus Y. Here's an X. Here's a Y. Here's an X. Here's a Y. Combine like terms. How many X's do I have? 2X. How many Y's? And then remember we factored out the common factor. If I take the 2 out, the 2 is outside the parentheses. X plus Y. The answer is A. And even if you didn't know that, look, if you do B and apply distributive property, 5 times 2X is 10X, but 5 times 3Y is not 3Y, it's 15Y. Can't be B. Can't do C because subtraction is not commutative. You can't flip it. And here, we never even really covered this, but you can't take a 9X plus a 2Y and automatically just combine it together. Won't work. If this was a times, you could make it 18XY, but you can't just add your coefficients and then put your two variables together. It doesn't work. I kind of like the idea, though, of substituting a number and see if it works. I think that's great. It's a cool way of doing it. Okay. Number 10. How many are they? How many have A? How many have B? C. D.
Oh, I got it.
We've just done it, but let's draw it out.
We covered this.
It was in mod 3Q. Negative 6, 4. Negative 6, 4 would be about here. 3, 4. 3, 4. Horizontal, opposite, and add. So what are we finding? What are we adding? Well, it's the absolute value of negative 6 and 3. You're adding those two numbers together, which is choice A. Okay, we've done it. It was just asked a little differently, but you've done it. Number 11, how many have A?
Matthew's A.
How many have B? How many have C? How many have D? Break it down into pieces. What is the product of 6 and a number that they're calling X? How do we... What is that? Guys? The product of 6 and a number. And then it's 8 less than that. Just remember, less than, more than, greater than, you have that's going to appear at the end of the mathematical sentence. B. Here we go. B. Number 12, how many at A? B. Good, move on. Anybody need to see it? 13 is a question that's easy, disguising itself as hard. It's confusing you with all of the letters, but honestly, perimeter. When you get a perimeter question, what are you supposed to do to all the sides? You add them, right? So what makes a difference whether it's letters or numbers? You have to show that you're adding all four sides. Here's how you do it. I'll start with B. You can start with any side you want. B plus. Only thing I'm going to suggest to you, since this B minus 2 is expressing the result of that side, I would put it in parentheses. Plus, same thing, C minus B needs to be in parentheses. And that's all they want you to do for that. And then I've been telling you like nonstop for the last 3-4 weeks, substitute, evaluate, substitute, find an answer. So much of this stuff is substituting what they give you. They give you 11 for B and 16 for C. I'm going to swap it in wherever I see a B and a C. So my B is 11. 16 minus 2. 16 minus 11 plus 16. Now it's PEMDAS. Do this first. You get 14. 5. Bring everything else down. I made a mistake somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, I see where I made it. This should be 11 minus 2. No, it's I substituted 16 instead of 11. And then when you add everything up, you get 41.
I did a little bit.
I did it like that.
Worked out. 14, I'll just give you the answers. 24 35ths.
Yep, got it.
And the last one, 15, 38 miles per gallon and $3.74 per gallon.